Hey, greetings, everybody. Thank you for joining me on this YouTube little mini message. I have one of the strangest scriptures that's in the entirety of the 66 books of the Bible. As a matter of fact, not only is it very strange, it's a prophecy about the future, but I've also had so much fun with this verse and would be sitting around with very close friends, and I'd quote this verse and they'd say, "What does it mean?" And I would kind of make up a funny story about what's going to happen in the future. And then I'd have to go back and I'd start laughing and they'd say, "Perry, you're just cutting up with us." And I would cut up. And when you hear the verse, you're going to understand what I'm saying. There is a prediction in Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And I wrote it down on paper for you. And let me read this to you. "And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by your name and take away our reproach." So it's basically saying, we'll take care of ourselves and provide for ourselves, but we want to carry on your name. And the implication there by carrying on the name is to procreate and have children. Now, you look at this verse where it's 7 women to 1 man, and you think, what on earth is that talking about? It doesn't even make sense. Now, here's why it doesn't make sense today, because today in the world, on an average, there's 101 men for every 100 women. Now, what that means is that in the normal cultural setting, you have a man who is able to find a bride and marry a woman, because it's like almost an equal ratio of 1 per 1 or 100 per 100 or 1,000 per 1,000. It's very interesting, isn't it? So there's no shortage of women for men to marry. That's my point. But in China, I looked up China because there's something prophetically that will happen to China in the future. And there are 105 men for every 100 women. And these are actual statistics from the year 2020. Now, here's what's going to happen. This is very important. If you go back to the Isaiah verse and you read, it also mentions about there will be a remnant in Jerusalem. When you read the context, and it is always very important when you're studying the scripture to find out what is the context of that verse. Where is it in history? Has it happened? Will it happen in the future? Well, obviously, this has not happened, but it will happen in the future. And it happens post-tribulation. What do I mean by that? Post-tribulation refers to the end of the 7-year tribulation. In the tribulation period, you read about the wars, the famines, the earthquakes, the cosmic activity. And the scripture reveals to you that 1/3 of men are destroyed. And in one place, it talks about a fourth of mankind. Mankind, and the implication there, mankind can refer to humanity in general, but it may actually refer more to men than women. Now, when you begin to look at it from a prophetic perspective, in the book of Revelation, there is a great army that totals 200 million that march across the Euphrates River toward a great battle that's going to happen in the future in the Middle East. 200 million men. That's a lot of men. So the point being here that at the end of the tribulation, there will have been so many deaths to men, not just thousands or millions or hundreds of millions, perhaps even up to 1 billion or 2 billion, that there will be a shortage of men. And the people that it's referring to here are survivors of the Great Tribulation. Christ has returned to earth. There's a remnant in Jerusalem. And to procreate the population with tribulation survivors, the ratio will be 1 man for every seven women. Now, we don't know what the total population will be at the end of the tribulation. We do know that there will be billions of people that will actually die during this horrible time, which is coming in the future. It has not happened yet. So if you ever come across that verse, please understand it's not happened. It's not happening in our day. It will happen in the future, and that will be the end result of the Great Tribulation, because what a lot of people don't realize is that during the 1,000-year reign of Christ, the earth will repopulate with human people who've survived the tribulation. They will procreate. Of course, the saints of God will have already had a glorified, resurrected body, and there will be no procreation among us. So I wanted to share that with you. It's a very interesting verse. 7 women will chase 1 man. And I won't tell you some of the funny stories. I've had even young single guys tell me about that verse. They thought it had reference that they could pick out, get 7 different girlfriends and finally marry one of the 7. That's not what it's talking about. A single guy might have 7 girlfriends, but if you're going to get married, you can't marry all 7 of them. But anyway, give us a thumbs up on this. Helps us for more people to be able to see the video. And don't forget, always, just kind of keep watching, because we will have something that we make available to you. We have thousands of resources and materials that most people don't even know about. And this is how we let you know great deep resources that you can get. And it also helps keep our ministry operating around the world, which it is operating around the world. Thank you to friends and partners and many of our new friends that are part of the YouTube team. Thank you.
Now available is Perry Stone's latest DVD series, The Antichrist, His Confederacy, and the World's Final Eighth Empire. This new 8-hour expanded and detailed DVD teaching will explain the empire that will seize the world in the future. This teaching will unlock the final mystery of the Antichrist. In this series, Perry will explain where the theory of the Antichrist originates in Scripture, what the prophets, Christ, and the apostles taught about the Antichrist, the early fathers' teachings about the Antichrist, the men in history who were candidates for the Antichrist, the major prophecies concerning the Antichrist kingdom and his 10 kings, the role Islam has in the future 8th kingdom. Discover the area the Antichrist comes from, where he rules, and what he will do. Learn details of the mark and image of the beast and global economic control. You will also discover numerous prophetic insights seldom known that are now revealed. This study will answer hundreds of your questions. It also includes word studies, amazing history, and combines Old and New Testament prophecies to give a clear understanding of this subject. These 4 DVDs, approximately 8 hours of teaching, has numerous pictures and charts. This DVD series is Manifest Offer AK139 and is available for a gift of just $65 or more. To order, visit perrystone.org or call toll-free 1-888-21-BREAD. That's 1-888-212-7323. You may also write to us and send a check or money order to Perry Stone Ministries, P.O. Box 3595, Cleveland, Tennessee 37320, and request offer number AK139. This offer is available on television for a limited time, so we look forward to hearing from you soon.